Hi, this is Nicholas Hamilton, Henry Bowers from It and It Chapter 2, and you're listening to the Don't Go Out There horror movie podcast.
They've conquered the big screen. Now, get ready for the spin-off sure to send chills down your spine. It's Nico, Brian, Mike, and Dustin in Don't Go Out There, the series.
Welcome back, everybody, to DGOT, the series. We really appreciate y'all listening. We hope y'all have been enjoying these series reviews. I know we have. It's been a lot of fun. Just want to give a quick shout out to our website, don'tgooutthere.com. Everything about our podcast is on the website. All of our episodes and interviews, if you want to check those out. We've done some incredible interviews in the past. Go check them out there in a specific tab by themselves so you don't have to scroll through hundreds of episodes on Apple or Spotify, etc. We also have our store if you want to grab a shirt, a mouse pad, a hat, all that good stuff. We'd love to see your pictures, rep your favorite podcast. And Shan's Etsy page is also attached if you want to grab a tumbler. All of our social media links are on there as well. Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, YouTube, TikTok. Like us, subscribe us, follow us, all that good stuff. And the last thing I want to shout out on our website is our Patreon. We call it Blood Donors. We have the traditional monthly reoccurring kind. If you want to support us, help us pay the bills, as we say. Or if there's a movie you want us to review, that option is available as well. Just check out our website, don'tgooutthere.com. Also, if you haven't noticed, we've recently joined the Believe Network. So there's some ads on our program now. But if you want ad-free content, go check us out on Blood Donors. The ad-free episodes will be available there. We appreciate your support. We are continuing on with Welcome to Derry, Episode 6, In the Name of the Father. I'll just give my general thoughts real quick. I thought this episode was decent. It wasn't my favorite so far, but, it was pretty good still. Had some good moments for sure. But I've already seen on IMDb the Episode 7, I don't know the name of it yet, has like a 9.5 rating. I've seen TikToks of how good it is. So I'm really excited to watch Episode 7, get that one done, and Episode 8, see how they conclude it. But yeah, I thought this episode was fine. It had some good moments. Brian, what'd you think?
Every single episode I've been like one up and then down the next, but this one broke that cycle for me. I loved it. Even after loving the last one for the most part, I have some things that I don't fully understand, mostly in the last set of scenes, so I'd like us to maybe discuss it. I wanted to ask y'all before this, but I thought I'd wait until we recorded. So most of the episode I really liked, though, and I like that they're setting up for a great final act, and I'm really digging it.
So I thought this was a good episode, not a great episode of a series that's already, kind of blown me away as far as the quality goes. I mean, I wouldn't call it a filler. I definitely enjoyed it. It just I think it's like a connection episode, for lack of a better term, where it's linking a couple what I think is going to be a couple really great episodes together. So it serves its purpose. It's good. It's entertaining. We're moving some pieces around, but I don't think it's anything special like the last one, and hoping the next one as well. So because like you guys, I've also had a couple things spoiled. So, but I am looking forward to the next episode. This episode did exactly what I wanted to do. And I want to say this. I love the way this show is utilizing Pennywise the Clown. So that is probably the biggest standout for me in this episode, how they light him, how they use him, how they use him in general, and how they're utilizing the character. And yeah, I think it was good, not great. So I am excited to talk about it, though, as always with Welcome to Derry. Like I said in the text the other night, probably the second best thing we've ever covered on the series show, in my opinion, because The Walking Dead 2 is going to be really hard to beat. I will say, or The Walking Dead Season 2 is going to be really hard to beat, in my opinion.
I liked it. I had this trend going all season where I'd like an episode, then the next episode more, then the next episode even more. But this one broke that cycle. I didn't like this one as much as the last couple, but I do think it was really good. Now, Nico, you mentioned the scores for the next episode that we're going to do next week. I'm curious to see if that's because it's legit that good, or if it's just people, because we were talking off air, we had something spoiled for us on TikTok. I'm curious if it's just like, oh, that hit the heartstrings, so we got to give it a high score, or if it's legit good episode. I'm curious about that.
I've heard it's genuinely scary and it's really good. So I hope it is. I hope it is that good.
Yeah, me too. But this is still a really good episode, so I'm not complaining or I'm not knocking it at all. It's just I think the last episode set the bar so unobtainably high that it was just going to be hard to beat for me.
Damn.
All right, guys, jumping to the scene by scene. The episode starts at Juniper Hill Asylum in 1935. Ingrid escorts a hesitant Mabel downstairs to meet the clown. Mabel is spooked seeing the red balloon floating. She tries to run away, but Ingrid won't let her leave. Pennywise emerges and cut to black. Will sits stoically as his father scolds him, reliving the voice of Pennywise. Leroy and Charlotte discuss what happened, and Will is told he can't leave his room without his permission. Will walks off refusing, and Leroy grabs his arm. Will says he wants to protect his friends and calls him out for letting his friend die. Leroy smacks the hell out of him, and Charlotte gives him a shocked stare. Townsfolk see the wanted signs for Henry Grogan. Lily shows the kids the shard that scared the clown in the sewer. Will asks to see it, but she won't let him hold it. Ronnie is off by herself looking at her pop's wanted sign and snaps on Lily. We almost died and you want us to go back? She calls her crazy and that visibly upsets her. The two girls continue to fight until Rich intervenes saying, "This is what the clown wants. They should never let you out of Juniper Hill," Ronnie says as she storms away. Lily wants to be left alone and walks away. Back at the military hangout in the woods, shout out to Shane Walsh, and Halloran says he can't tell them where he's been. He goes straight for the liquor and his comrades notice he's not right. They stop him from going to sleep and drink, needing to talk. Ronnie snaps and Will admits she went too far. Ronnie is tired and hugs Will, and then they almost kiss until Charlotte catches him and orders him into the car as she drives them away. All right, Brian, that's the opening set of scenes. What do you think?
I really like the detailed choice from Muschietti to have everything in this opening flashback be black and white. Because, the world was black and white. Just ask me. I was alive in 1935, right? Assholes.
I thought you were going to say, just ask me. I'm also black and white. And I was going to say, no, I didn't know that.
No, not that. But having the balloon be red, I thought that was cool. It kind of echoing the little red coat girl in Schindler's List. Very nice touch. We have Tenor Rushing, I think is how you say her first name, playing a young Ingrid here. But I think that Madeline Stowe may be doing the voiceover for her, or else Rushing is just doing a fantastic job there with mimicking her voice. I don't know. Rushing was in Stranger Things 4 as well, so that's topical. Also, I don't know if you guys noticed, but they're changing up this opening credit song just a bit every week. I didn't catch it till last week, and even then I thought I was crazy until I did some research, but they actually are. They're just adding some creepy undertones during different sections, depending on where the majority of the episode's taking place. So fantastic detail. Very reminds me a lot of the Game of Thrones opening. As far as detail goes and how it changes every week. But some more fantastic shots in the opening sequence. We have a nice mirror shot of Charlotte standing next to Leroy after he gave Will some medicine, gave him some of that backhand medicine. And with my man Rich scaring Margot in her little mirror, there was a nice shot there too. So fantastic effects in our eye too. Next set of scenes, I'll talk about that then. But last thing here, I just like the trust aspect that this pre-Losers Club thing is going through. They just went through a life or death experience in the sewer. Their friends are literally being ripped apart and eaten. And last time they were all together, one of them turned out to be the entity. So I guess, you can't really blame them, especially Lily with being so trepidatious or cautious with each other. But that's a nice little detail that I'm glad they added. Something I wouldn't have noticed until it happened because, that makes sense. And I have an issue calling this thing Pennywise because I only think one form is Pennywise. So if I call it Pennywise, It's by habit. I'm going to try to start calling it the entity because it bothers me.
I like the choice to kind of put this time period back in the past in black and white. I wasn't on for it, but I'm sure Nico probably hated that automatically because the minute he sees black and white, he gets utter disgust. So I understand, brother. It happens. Again, more Pennywise, like I already mentioned. Love the way they're using him in the series so far. And Leroy's pretty annoying in this episode. It's clear that him and Will both know about this thing, and yet they're, he's over here treating him like an idiot. And then he smacks the shit out of him. That is something serious, man. You could just tell it was a different time. And there's another scene later where I'm like, you just going to act like that didn't happen? My bad, man. My bad. Don't leave. No, man, you smacked the shit out of that kid. Anyway, that was rough. I love the soundtrack of the show. I've already said that a couple times. Just love the traditional storytelling aspect that we get here, where all the town is coming together against the bad thing. Like that's a very old school style story, and I love the way that they're kind of telling it. Even if they're, no matter if they're justified or not, I like the way that they're kind of telling that story. And the argument between this kids group that we have here, I think is really great stuff. Probably the best performances from all the kid actors involved in the show, in my opinion. You can tell there's camaraderie. I think they convey the right emotions. Like I think it's really, really good stuff. And something I like about this, and what I like about the It universe, is the strong kid characters. And the show Welcome to Derry also does it. Yeah. So last thing, Charlotte robbed my man Will of a kiss. Man, come on, Mom. You could at least wait to roll down the window and say something till the kiss happened. Come on, man. Don't be like that.
Yeah. When it started, my first thing that I put in my notes was a damn flashback episode. Am I a joke to you? but I'll trust the process here. Like you mentioned, I love the balloon being red when everything else is black and white. Like it's just an incredible visual. It makes it pop, and it makes it that much more meaningful. As was Pennywise appearing and his eyes glowing in the doorway like that. Creepy stuff. Leroy, here, Leroy's right, and so is Will. But imagine how insane it sounded to Charlotte. Like they both know what they saw or what they've seen. But imagine just like being a normal person and hearing that. It's like, okay. And then Leroy went upside Will's head. Didn't see that coming. Whew. And then the liquored up racists are taking up arms and heading to find Hank. That's not good. I am glad that we opened the episode at Juniper Hill. And speaking of, Lily needs to be back there. The way she wants to go back down in the sewers, and then she snapped on her friends, and she's obsessing over the artifact. She's crazy. Charlotte with perfect motherly timing here, pulling up right as Will was about to kiss his girl. Come on, Mom. But it's a good open.
Yeah, I agree, Dustin, about the balloon being red in the black and white room. I thought the color grading was great, and you were right about Charlotte pulling up on the kids. It's like, come on, Mom. Like he's just about to lay the smooches on her, then you pull up. Let's get into the next set of scenes. They show Halloran that Hank is being hid here, and he can't believe he's there. Hank begs to stay, and Halloran storms away. Charlotte takes Ronnie to Hank, and the two hug. Hank assures her only a few colored men know he's here, and Dick storms away from Charlotte. Aerial shot as Marge looks at her eye bandage. Rich scares her accidentally and offers to help her with her eye bandage. Rich spits on his finger to help remove the bandage and says it's the coolest thing he's ever seen. Rich is scared and fears having to face it alone. He likes their chances together facing it a lot more. He helps her put the eye bandage back on, and he throws the airplane, and it goes into a culvert into the sewer. Halloran is drinking in a dark room as Leroy enters. Leroy gives him the new orders, and Halloran pauses, seeing a wounded man behind Leroy. He asks Dick what happened down there. I think we pissed it off. Halloran tells Leroy he's seen dead things since he was little, and his grandma taught him a trick to help close it up. I ain't seen them since I was 9 until yesterday. Leroy asks if they're here now, and he confirms. The dead always wander back to where they died. Leroy snaps, saying he has skin in the game too, and he needs Halloran to step up. Halloran crashes out, calling him a bootlicker, and tells him to leave. Leroy says, do your job or you'll be taken away in cuffs. Leroy is home and calls Charlotte to no answer. Charlotte says Will is with his friends, and she's upset he hit their son. He apologized, saying it was from what happened in the sewer to Polly. She hugs him as he apologizes. The two continue to argue, and Charlotte says she's leaving with Will to head back to Shreveport with or without him, and leaves with her suitcase. All right, Brian, so next set of scenes, what'd you think?
Yeah, I like the choice to not show what Hank is actually seeing a few times here when he sees the ghosts, like only his reaction. That's very Sixth Sense-ish, very effective, I thought. Something else that was an interesting choice was the blue hues with Rich and Margot up in the hideout. Most of the episodes have had a yellowish hue, kind of like Nico. But so this blue tone was almost calming some. So I was wondering what was in the box that was in Halloran's head, but it took me this episode to realize that the box was just almost holding his ability to see these dead ghost things everywhere. So now that it's open, he's seeing and feeling all this stuff everywhere. So I kind of like how he explained it to Danny Torrance in Dr. Sleep. And I love the score when he's explaining it all to Leroy too. Again, almost the "I see dead people" speech from The Sixth Sense. I mean, it's even cut the same way with Leroy playing the Bruce Willis part. That's all I had on this set of scenes. Not much here.
Yeah, I didn't have much either. Dick was 100% in the right when he told Charlotte to leave him out of this. Like, Hank is the most wanted man in Maine, maybe even the country at this point. I wouldn't want to be involved either. I did get a shock when Rich removed the bandage on Marge's eye. Not because he did that, but it's swollen and looks gross, but her eyeball's still there. That seems insanely unlikely, does it not? Like, didn't she cut her eyeball out or saw into it? Whatever.
Yeah, I was wondering about that. I was wondering about that too, because yeah.
Like, I expected it to be like her eyelids to be sewn shut or something, but no, it was barely open, and there was definitely an eyeball in there. I like the progression of Dick's storyline. He's having visions more frequently, and it's inside his head. Excited to see how that plays out. And Chris Chalk, man, he's so good here with Leroy, but he's been so good in the show in general. And it was a rough stretch for Leroy. First, Dick exploded on him. Pause. And now Charlotte went scorched earth. This is crazy, but it's another good set of scenes.
Why'd you have to say it like that?
Well, he did. He blew up all in his face.
What?
Come on,
That's not
man.
any better, brother. It's not any better, brother.
Hiding my guy out here seems like a terrible idea. Okay, like bound to end up horribly, horribly wrong. Dick is kind of a dick. Okay, like, is he a good guy or a bad guy? I'm not really sure what to feel about Dick Halloran. Pause. This scene with Rich and Margie, again, really good stuff to me. They're building a couple different of these like early young love relationship things, but for whatever reason, this one works for me because of how sweet I think Marge is being. And has anyone done a bigger face turn than her? Like, I mean, good Lord. She was a top heel for me 2 episodes ago, and here we are now. She's a baby. She's a white meat baby face, brother. I mean, she's in love with Rich, as we kind of talk about in a little bit here. But again, like I mentioned, my man Leroy walked back in like nothing. Like you didn't just hit the shit out of your kid. Wife's not supposed to be upset about it. Come on, baby. I'm sorry. All right, man. I know the kind you are, Leroy. Last thing, say it every episode, and I'm going to say it again. I love Charlotte. Someone with some actual goddamn sense on this show. When shit starts to happen, get the fuck out of town. Why are we staying in Derry, man? I'm good. Anything weird happening? Nope, I'm out. I'll see you later. I can go all the way back to the South, which is crazy because the South at this time was probably not a very safe place for her either.
Back in class, and Lily hears Pennywise's voice. Lily is jump scared by an octopus-looking dead guy, and she grabs the shard. Teacher orders her to sit down, but Lily leaves the class instead. Marge and Rich chat about Will and try to make a plan of attack. Rich and Marge both admit to hearing voices from the sewer pipes. Marge comforts Rich for peeing in a jar, and he gives her an eye patch from his Cuban homelands. Marge says it's a date, and it gets a bit awkward. Patty and the girls visit Marge and ask her to join them for lunch to catch up in a very mean way. Marge stands up saying she's a freak, showing them her eye wound. The girls are scared and leave Marge alone now. The 3 kids ride their bikes into the woods to the military camp. Ronnie opens the door for the 3 kids, and it cuts to Lily riding her bike to Miss Kirsch's house. No one answers as Lily walks around. She looks through a photo album and pauses when she sees a Pennywise-looking fella. Ingrid joins her in the attic, asking what she's doing up here. Lily is a bit spooked and begins to sob. The 2 hug, and she tells Lily it's going to be okay. Lily sees the clown picture now and is terrified. Ingrid asks if she's seen him and begins to laugh. Ingrid reveals that's her old costume and thanks her for bringing him back. She reveals she followed them and says Pennywise, the dancing clown, is her father. The carnival moved on, but she stayed in Derry, feeling drawn here. Flashback to Ingrid and Mabel again, where she overhears Mabel telling the doctor of her experiences with Pennywise. The 2 are in the basement seeing the clown, and he jump scares Mabel from the steam, giving her the balloon. Pennywise chases him through the basement and catches Mabel, who falls behind and gets shut out behind the door. Ingrid cries, seeing blood flow under the door. All right, Brian, next set of scenes, what do you think? And the next set is the ending.
Yeah, I didn't need to see Pickle Dad again in the desk. Like, for at least the 6th time on the series, I'll say it again. The super CG creature things like that aren't for me. They take me out of it. I like the continuity, though, with hearing "you'll die if you try" from the entity, but come on. Does the school handle anything? I mean, she just fell out of her chair and now holding a literal weapon in class, but I guess, oh darn, it's just old crazy Lily. I mean, the school's crazy. Anyway, I did love the transition from Pickle Dad to the cafeteria food, though. And it was a nice touch with Curtis Lee's Angel Eyes playing after Marge, after she, like you mentioned, Mike, totally redeems herself. But come on, put the eye patch back on, Marge, man. That thing's going to get infected. Plus, it's gross. Fun fact, this photo book that Lily goes through of Ingrid's and the dates put Ingrid at 62 years old at the time of this show. So Hank likes him a little older. Okay, Hank. Very cool to see the Bob Gray photos, though. The tone, everything just makes it super creepy when we see him on screen. It's almost more creepy than seeing him in clown makeup, to me anyway. And I think the last time that we saw Gray like this was in It Chapter 2, which, by the way, I know it was the entity, but Ingrid would have been 106 years old then. But anyway, I'm mixed on this whole revelation. I'm very intrigued about Bob Gray and this whole transformation into the entity or whatever happened, but it definitely has me. And I didn't think I wanted more backstory after this, but I definitely do. What I'm mixed on is Ingrid running around as Periwinkle. Like, I thought that was kind of stupid, but hey. The flashback Technicolor scene, again, I thought was very effective, although Ingrid sucks, man. She could have easily saved Mabel. She just left that kid to die, man. Hank, come on, get your own lady.
Yeah, Periwinkle, that's fucking hilarious. Yeah, so, slight disagreement here. I actually thought the CGI slimy thing worked in the desk for some reason. Now, maybe because it, caught me off guard, and it was a jump scare that actually kind of worked for me. I can't lie. Like I've mentioned, Marge has just come all the way around. I mean, think of your most diabolical, rotten heel and how they, and then now they've turned her baby face. Just the craziest face turn I've ever seen. So if they pull my leg again, then I'm going to start calling her Big Show. Only some of you will get that reference, but just know. Heel face. Anyway, and it's a sweet moment, with the eye patch, the way that she still connects with Rich, right? And she kind of scares these girls off, stands up to them. Hell yeah. These little bitches. Sorry, I probably shouldn't say that, but it's true. These girls suck, man. That age group that's a terrible time in your life. I love how these kids rode up to, what is this, a bar? It's just got on their bikes and rode up to a bar. That would have been a fun time, man. We lived in the wrong time. Love the shot of the old man staring back at Lily. That gave me chills. Thought it was really well lit and shot. And Lippy, good Lord. Lily flipping through these old photo albums. Anytime in this universe they show the old pictures like that where people look like Pennywise in the face, super effective on me. I think it really does nail the kind of vibe and effect that I'm looking for. I find it odd that we saw, well, no, never mind. But I am knocking Ingrid the fuck out. I'm literally knocking her the fuck out. Because you're right. What is she doing? We're this is basically Corey Cunningham at this point. You're just going to walk around as fake Pennywise. What are you doing? What's the purpose of this? It hasn't been explained to me yet. You're going to, next thing you know, she's going to choke out Pennywise in the alley and leave him for dead and take his mask and kick his ass. Or his face paint and kick his ass. Come on. Sorry. Halloween ends on the brain. What can I say? Now, I'm going to be a slight hypocrite. I like learning the origin story of why it takes the shape of Pennywise the Clown more than I enjoy learning the origin story of it, the entity. So I find that much more interesting, much more fascinating. And yeah, I would much rather learn more about that than anything to do coming from outer space. Now I will say, man, just terrible time, but clowns and killing kids seems to be a theme of our show this week for both shows. So I was like, ooh, tough time.
Yeah, Lily hearing Pennywise in class was good, but her holding that artifact was insane. That's a weapon. A crazy girl has a weapon in a classroom. And the teacher just told her to sit back down. That is wild. Would not fly today. Rich, my man, is in there with Marge. Attaboy. And good for Marge for finally standing up to the mean girls. So Lily is not only crazy, she's also a criminal. Can't just walk into a house. That's a B&E girl. No one answered when you knocked, so come back another time. Her seeing Pennywise in the picture was great, and finding out that Ingrid is Team Pennywise, that's a heck of a twist. I was sure she was a good one with how she was there for Lily and helped Hank stay escaped. And I like how we circle back around to how we open. So not a true flashback episode, and I'm good with that. So they didn't lose me. Ingrid left Mabel for dead. Cold world. She gets the MFTK award for this episode. Just like the balloon in Pennywise's eyes, I love that the blood was red and the rest of the scene is, monochrome. Another solid set of scenes. I'm ready for the ending.
We haven't had a man fuck them kids award in a long time, so I'm glad you brought that back.
It's been a while.
Glad you brought that back.
It's been a while. Good song. Good song. Ingrid stands up hearing carnival music and sees her papa through the glass. He says how he's missed her all these years and not to be scared. He asks her to open the door and let him in. Everything's going to be all right. She opens the door and smiles. It was him. Back to the present, Ingrid says she felt whole again since that awful day. She tells Lily of having to find ways to free him. Lily pulls away, realizing Ingrid is going to use her as bait. She begs her not to hurt her or her friends. Ingrid used trauma with her father to try and manipulate, but Lily isn't having it. Lily cuts her with a shard and rides her bike away with a bloodstain on the back of her shirt. The three kids are making their pitch to Ronnie, but she ain't having it. She doesn't want to leave her dad again and storms away. Will says he's stubborn too and chases after her. Some jazz music fills the air and Rich is vibing. Will is talking to Ronnie and Hank assumes the two like each other romantically. He asks an important question. What's your favorite movie? We're with William Easton at the bar with the others discussing Hank and trying to find him. He says he's not hiding at the rail yards. Bowers reveals he's been fired from his duties as we cut to Halloran spacing out. He joins the party in body, but not in mind. Rich and Marge are at the bar and they get 2 Cokes. Not the kind Dustin orders, though. They watch a couple dance and says the Coke tastes kind of funny. Will says he liked War of the Worlds, and Hank likes that answer. Hank is reassured that someone of Will's character cares about his daughter. Will joins the other two and says she won't budge. The band asks Rich if he can play, seeing his drumsticks in his pocket. Party ensues as Marge says she loves Air Force Coke. Rich breaks out his drumsticks, and the vibes are immaculate. Ingrid puts the costume on as Jax and his lady friend are outside having a smoke. Suddenly, a fleet of cars arrive. It's Bowers and his mob of people. They exit the car masked up with guns as the episode ends. All right, Brian, that's ending. What did you think?
So hold up. Pennywise just uses Bob Gray to kind of brainwash Ingrid into. I'm sorry, I said Pennywise. The entity to kind of brainwash Ingrid into using her job to just send kids down in the sewers every 27 years. So she's a human trafficker. She's Ghislaine Maxwell. Got it. Okay. Interesting turn. And if it was Periwinkle when Leroy busted out of the house a couple of episodes ago, how did her old ass get away so fast? I don't know. I don't love it not being the entity. Anyway, I do love the callback to It Chapter 2 again with Ingrid telling her the same thing that she tells Lily, telling Bev, I guess the same thing she tells Lily here with no one who dies here really ever dies. All right, so here's what I wanted to talk about. So in this show, we've seen Pickle Dad, gouging eyes. Actually, not quite here, but close. We've seen Pickle Dad. We've seen gouging eyes, some stuff that would be considered pretty gross. But by far, the grossest thing that I've seen on this entire show was some fucking dude dipping their hands into that pickled egg jar at the Falcon and getting an egg to eat it. I fucking gagged. Absolutely disgusting. And I almost feel like all this whole race stuff is a little too much with all that. I mean, we already have going on, to be honest. But we'll see how it plays out. And by the way, did we ever find out why the sheriff was fired, by the way? Did I miss that? But this is what I wanted to talk about. So is Ingrid orchestrating this whole thing? Like, is she the one who sold out Hank to the white mob? And if so, like, why? How does causing all this town chaos bring her father back in her plan here? Did I miss that?
Yeah. So more flowers for Bill Skarsgård here. More flowers for Bill Skarsgård. I think he's so good here in this episode in particular. Brian kind of already touched on it, where it's like he's almost scarier. To me, he's creepier when he's not in Pennywise makeup in this particular episode. I'm like, whoa, that is really good shit. I thought the way he's able to kind of layer this character he's playing in the show. Because let's be honest, a television series for HBO Max, Skarsgård could phone this in if he really wanted to. He could play the Pennywise hits and phone it in, and he's not. He's given a hell of a performance, so shout out to him. Again, we have a group of kids splitting up for no fucking reason. Super dumb. And I will say the kids being or looking as young as they are makes this scene with Will and I'm sorry, name slipping me, his dad. Like that makes it kind of awkward. Like, hey, I should probably meet you. You're spending a lot of time with my daughter. I don't know. I feel like aren't you kids in like 7th grade or 8th grade? I don't know how. Man, I don't know. Anyway, I do love, which Brian just touched on, that the shitty ex-mayor has gotten the fuck out. Fucking loser ass and normal politician like everybody else. Goodbye. Man, you could tell that was going to be their first alcoholic beverage. What a time. What a time in your life, the first time you taste the nectar, huh? And I'm just saying. I will say, the scene with Rich playing the drums, awesome. Awesome. Actually, it was Dustin that mentioned it. Marge is in love, son. She's I said Rich is set for life right now, man. The way he was playing the drums, you could just tell she was smitten. So good for him. Just don't understand the Ingrid dressing up like a clown thing. I mean, I'm sure there's more to explain, but I don't know. Not for me. I'm willing to say a bit of a filler episode, but not in a bad way. Just like I can tell they're setting some stuff up, moving some pieces around, kind of bringing us down from the height of the last episode.
Yeah, Ingrid's story here is interesting, albeit unnecessary to me. Like, it's just kind of odd to me. I'm sure it's going to come back into play in the future, but I didn't really need it. I completely understand Ronnie's stance. I wouldn't leave my dad either after being separated and all the terrible stuff that they've gone through. And then Hank put the squeeze on Will. I felt the awkwardness through the screen. Good tension as the racist lynch mob gets a tip, and then cutting to Dick still being off, and something's going on with him. And Marge and Rich getting served Cokes with alcohol in it. That's funny. I love me a good rum and Coke. I hated. Here's the thing, though. I didn't like. I hated Rich getting subbed in on the drums. One, why would he have drumsticks in his back pocket? I don't think we've seen him playing the drums, or it's even been mentioned that he plays the drums so far in the series. But he just carries them on him, keep them thing on him at all times. And two, it just felt like a far-fetched scenario that was filler. Like, what real-life scenario would they be like, hey, kid that I've never seen before, you're one of 3 non-black people in here. You want to come play the drums? Like, I ain't buying it. Then we cut back to Ingrid, and yeah, that's still an odd development to me. Like I said, it just seems very unnecessary. But then the tension hits an all-time high. The clan rolled up to the hangout. It's a hell of a way to end the episode. I liked it, but not as much as the last two. I gave this one an 8.5.
8.5. That's still a really good rating, especially from Dustin. Especially from Dustin.
I really like this show.
Facts.
Nah, Brian, but I do agree with you about what you were asking earlier. If Ingrid is kind of is running things, I think so.
Yeah, but I don't understand why. If she is, like, I don't understand what's the end game.
She wants her papa back.
How is causing a race riot and getting Hank thrown in jail going to be how is that getting? That's what I mean. I don't understand the plan.
Hey, man. Dustin, take over. Blame women somehow.
Women?
Yeah, see, it all started when there were 2 people on Earth. There were 2 people on Earth total, and one of them betrayed God's only command, and it's just all downhill from there. So,
well, I can't remember what episode it was when you're like, it's just the Bible, the truth. That was funny. That was so funny.
Hey,
I'm really excited for. Yeah, don't debate. I'm really excited for episode 7 just because I've seen how highly rated it is. So I'm really excited to watch this episode, see how this concludes. Because I mean, I haven't been as locked in or liked it as much as Dustin, but I thought I have, or Mike. He liked the show a lot too. Like, absolutely. I have liked it, but it hasn't been like Walking Dead season 2 or anything like that for me yet. But I'm excited to see how they conclude this one. Like, because it seems like they're going to end on a high note. So I'm excited for that. Guys, any final thoughts on episode 5?
Yeah, let me tell you something. Oh, sorry.
Nope. They out here in the woods.
Did you ever watch season 3, Nico?
Like half of it. I quit watching after Rick started crashing out on the damn phone all the time. Like, I got tired of it. It's like he answered the phone and it's like, it's Lori's voice, and he's like tweaking out, and then he's meeting with the governor and he's like, I brought whiskey. I was like, all right, I'm good. I've had enough.
Stick with it. There's not very many more seasons after that.
Yeah. Oh, really?
Yeah.
And
only like 8 more.
and like 2 spinoffs.
But you do need to see the developments with the governor, though. Yeah.
I've heard he's a bad mofo. But anywho, back to Welcome to Derry.
Sorry. Anyway. Great show.
We appreciate y'all tuning in. We'll be back next week for episode 7.
Good night, Canada.
Thank you so much, everybody. I'll see you next week. And in the meantime, take care of yourself.
Just want to remind everybody,